In response to the global N95 mask shortage caused by the COVID-19 pandemic, we developed the VeriMask wireless sensor platform. VeriMask enables per-mask verification for N95 mask moist heat decontamination and maximizes the throughput of this decontamination process. In this talk, we will introduce the scalable and low-cost VeriMask platform and also discuss the challenges and lessons learned for emergency response design to better safeguard our society from future crises.